Hello and welcome to the 5th episode of Three Men and a Movie with me, Richard.
With me, Gareth.
And me, Michael.
Before we get on to the main event of the evening, which is Madman, a little known, well, quite well known in the horror community, horror slasher from 1981, I think we should have a quick word on what we've seen recently, what films we've seen, what piqued our interest, if you will.
I've just recently seen The Nun, a spin-off of The Conjuring. Better than I expected. Went in with low expectations. Came out quite pleasantly surprised.
I've also seen The Nun. And non-spoilers here, because we're not talking about it today, but the last 10 minutes flew the shark, if you will, and I didn't enjoy it at all. For the first hour, I thought I had echoes of Hammer Horror, which I loved. So yeah, give it a watch, leave after 70 minutes and you'll be happy.
I'll start mine then. I've finally caught up on a few of my superhero movies. Finally watched Avengers again to see it properly, you know, without being in the cinema with all the chitter-chatter going on.
Children.
And I've also finally watched DC's Justice League. It was a lot better than everyone made out.
Yes, I'm glad you said that, because I blooming loved the Justice League.
And I've caught up on some more TV shows. Watched Backstrom again, because I do like that. Cancelled after season 1, obviously, because it was good.
Oh, because you liked it, probably.
Yeah, probably. I finally caught up with me Elementary, finished a new season of that now. Just wait for the next one next year, if there is going to be one.
Is that American?
Yes, but with
Sherlock?
With Lucy Liu.
Yeah, she's the Watson. Yes, yeah. That's right. I've heard good things about that.
It's alright, there was a bit of a lull in the middle seasons, but it's picking up again.
I've been going on to a well-known auction site and buying films, which I've wanted for a while. I owned Cabin Fever, but I then found the Steelbook Cabin Fever, unrated director's cut.
I do like
and let me tell you, this Steelbook is gorgeous and it only cost me £5.
You could say that was a steal.
It was a steal. I don't know. I didn't realise much difference between the unrated cut and the original I've got. I love that film. I also watched one of my favourite remakes ever, which is the Evil Dead remake, which is just fantastic.
I still haven't brought myself around to watch the remake. I do love the original trilogy.
You should, because it was endorsed by Bruce and he worked on it.
Sam
Raimi worked on it as well. The original director of photography worked on it as well. They were very much involved.
But what I liked about the Evil Dead, especially the last two, is the slapstick and the dark humour side. This hasn't got that.
This is more like the first Evil Dead.
This is more serious, isn't it?
This is like the first Evil Dead was trying to be, but it came up a bit hokey because
the limitations they had at the time. Yeah,
but I'm not joking when I say it's up there. And I know my rating is stupid, but let's just say it's one of my favourite remakes ever. I think it's probably my favorite.
I've seen the remake and I do like. It's not a patch on the first one, but I do like it.
A New Nightmare remake, Freddy.
That was a long time ago.
We've spoken a lot about that. Act length.
I know. I'm the one that had to edit the other 2 hours out of it.
I also saw The Predator.
I'm going to see that tomorrow night.
No spoilers. No spoilers.
I'm looking forward to that. A bit of Shane Black again. I do like his movies. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, one of my favourites.
Yeah.
I even like Last Boy Scout. I even enjoy that one.
I don't think I've seen that.
And of course he was in the first Predator.
He was in the first one, yeah.
He was brought on to also change the script of the first Predator while he was there.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything. He thought it was alright anyway. So he just got the acting role and that was it.
Well, fingers crossed. I'm seeing it tomorrow night, so I'm hoping for good things if I can shift this cold, which is why I sound very sexy on the microphone tonight. So, anyway, I know you're looking forward to this one, Gareth.
I can't wait to talk about this.
Madman, directed by, and in the tradition of Three Men in a Movie, where it's got a director we can't pronounce, Giannone. Director Joe, and this was from 1981, which is when, because I thought when I first found this film, this would be from the middle of the slasher craze. So you look at
it's on the very
84, 85. But actually, it's bang at the start.
Yeah. But it came after the first Friday the 13th, didn't it? Yes, I thought so. Yeah.
And I was watching it, and it's very by the numbers slasher, I thought, but I forgave it that because this is the start of an era.
Well, at the time when I was watching it, there are a few tropes in it, but it weren't tropes at the time, was it?
Exactly, that's the point I was making there. Yeah, exactly. In very similar, in some ways, to a film that came out at exactly the same time, The Burning.
Yeah. Well, they were both originally based on the Cropsey urban legend, weren't they?
Yeah, they were both, and I believe that Madman was filming, and they came across the film set of The Burning, and they had to slightly change their story because they realised they were telling the same story. Is that right?
Close. Yeah, very, very close. Very close. Originally, Madman was supposed to be based on the Cropsey killer legend as well, but when they found out, when the production company found out about The Burning, was being based on the same thing. They just changed the script. They didn't run into each other, but they changed a few things when they found
Probably
out.
more of an urban legend they ran into each other, probably. But yeah, so same kind
Urban
of
legend ran into each other.
Very good, yes. And I actually watched The Burning about a week before this.
You've got the Arrow version, haven't you? That's
This is the Madman's the Arrow release as well. So
very good transfer.
yeah, there was a few little sketchy bits, but I think that's just
It's going to
time,
be at this time, isn't it? Don't forget, after this came out, for a few years, the print was probably treated very badly, like a lot of films.
exactly, yeah. But I mean, The Burning, I actually rate slightly higher than this because it's
I've only seen the original release of The Burning with lots of it cut
which
out.
probably has every Tom Savini gore effect gone, which is one of the best bits about that. So yeah, they probably lose a lot.
I do need to watch the proper one.
Yeah, it's I love The Burning. Burning's great.
Val Julia, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Fantastic actor.
But yeah, I love The Burning. Anyway, enough about The Burning. I'm saying The Burning. Madman. Initial thoughts, Gazatron. We'll start with you.
Initially, I thought, you know what, this is alright.
What did you first think when he gave you the DVD, the Blu-ray cover though?
Come on, be honest.
The old adage, don't judge a book by its cover, but I was not impressed by, when you handed me the film, it looks like something you had made.
It was the snigger he made, as he said.
Yeah,
this is the one we're watching.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you knew exactly how bad it was if you were looking at it from a certain perspective. If you think of this as a film that came out when it did, you can probably appreciate some of the things, but I think I've been spoiled by modern films too much, and it's kind of soured most of the film for me.
I'm not a fan of the modern horror genre. Lots of it does.
Not necessarily modern horror, just generally modern films that look a lot better for obvious reasons. But this film has not aged well.
I mentioned something to Michael just before we started recording tonight. I don't know if this has something to do with it, but I noticed, because I watched this 2 times before we recorded this, on my second viewing I noticed there was a lot of shots which were very still, the camera wasn't moving, and I think for a modern cinema viewer they might find the film a little slow because of that. There wasn't many tracking shots.
I think that was mainly because of the lighting.
There was
outside,
lighting.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's probably some budget constraints as well. There was budget constraints, but I don't know if maybe that on the second viewing I noticed it a lot. There was a lot of just you had a still camera, man walking up to the camera, then it cut into another still camera, and they were walking past it again, and it was completely still. Now that can work in a horror film, and I thought it did in some respects on this, but I think that might be one of the reasons. You probably find it a bit slow and quite dated.
I appreciate it more than shaky cam though.
Yes.
Of course, yeah.
Well, exactly. That's another thing I thought. I thought, well, at least it's not shaky cam.
It was difficult to judge it, basically because it's a film from an era that I didn't watch films at the time.
But you loved The First Nightmare.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I know. That's what means. It's so strange to try and say it like that when other films from that time are classics,
Exactly.
such as Nightmare.
Yeah. So I think you have to judge it on what you thought, Gareth. And
I tried to look at it from the. Imagine I'm in this time watching this film as it had just come out. I struggled. I tried, but I struggled.
You struggled. Okay.
There's one scene. I'll get to it eventually. There's one scene in particular I laughed my head off.
We all.
I know exactly.
We all know that scene.
Let's leave that.
We'll leave that. It's a little taster.
Michael, initial thoughts.
When you pass the DVD over to the Blu-ray over to me, I was like, I was literally just about to say this does look like a proper VHS slasher cover. I'm happy with that. And then the laugh you gave me when you said I'd enjoy it, I went, oh, what's he put me through?
Sinister little laugh.
It was. Took me a while to watch it. Well, yeah, I put myself off watching it because of the amount of crap you said it was. But no, stuck it on late at night, all the lights off, big HD telly, nice little, 4K telly, nice little thing, good lighting on there. And I watched it. First impressions, well, I went in with very low expectations and stuck the tune on. That was on the credits at the beginning.
Song.
No, before the song, but just the tune.
I love that song.
This sounds bloody
just
familiar.
That tune.
So we had to look into that, and then it opens to the campfire and he's singing the song.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my god, what is this? And then they go into the Madman story. After that, it picked up. It was alright. For a very short film, and for the type of film it was, I did find, number one, most of your characters had a bit of characterisation.
Yes.
They really did. You felt it was different. They were different people, not just there to get slaughtered. They all had their own personalities.
Yes.
The love interest was more adult than most of them as well. The love story, because one man was a bit possessive. He knew it and apologised at one point and stuff. And the girl was like, meh. And it was very progressive. That one of the girls was very independent in it as well, which is good. So within the first half an hour, I was getting into it. Then that scene happened.
Yeah, we'll get onto that. We'll get onto that. Build up.
But what I did like about it is from the first 5 minutes, you got a glimpse of Madman Mars. There was none of this messing around with. They managed to build the killer up at the same time as all the other characters.
I don't think there was any fake scares, was there? But yeah, so you enjoyed it.
I did. There was a few silly bits in there. Not on about that scene yet. There was a few silly bits with Madman Mars, you know, his hand and always missing. Some of it was a little bit Scooby-Dooey when he kept going for some of them and like missing them and stuff. And the characters didn't even know he was there. But I liked it.
Yeah.
The acting was about or above average for one of these movies.
I think some really shone. Some not so much.
Not so much, yeah. But overall, I think the film done well for its budget, its restraint, having to change the script for the last minute. Yeah, I can see why it's got a following in the slasher genre.
I think when I came about it was like at a well-known second-hand DVD shop, and I said I'm going to have to get this because I'd read that it had quite a cult following, and I don't think a film gains a cult following if it's really awful. It has to have something about it, doesn't it?
Troll 2, so I've got to disagree.
Well, there are some films that have a cult following because they really are the worst films, yes, but I think this was just a charming little slasher. I think that's a really weird thing to say, a charming little slasher.
Do you know what? It is a weird thing to say, but that does put it in a bracket I can see.
And that's one of the things I loved. The counsellors had a brain.
Yes.
They actually were adults.
They were
individuals
as well.
They had almost adult conversations, which I quite enjoyed. I remember every character, and even though I loved the Friday the 13th series, there isn't many characters probably from... I remember a lot from Chapter 4, but give me a character from Chapter 7. I don't know.
Jason, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just slice and dice. Whereas these ones, for the most part, I actually wanted some of them to survive, and I never want any teens to survive.
Even in real life.
So... I do think if someone had grabbed this film after this, I don't know how well it did on release. I haven't looked into that. If someone had taken this franchise, given it a little bit more money, I think there was a possibility there that this could have been the next horror icon, Madman Mars, because he was different enough to Jason and Freddy that he could have had his own little area there.
I felt he was stoppable.
He was stoppable, yeah.
Yes, and I thought that was a good thing.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, I think that's a good thing.
Because let's look at Scream. He's very stoppable, that killer, and that's one of the things that people loved about it.
Killers.
Yeah, well, non-spoilers.
Spoilers, goodness me, for a film that is...
It's a movie podcast about 30-year-old movie.
Spoilers for a 25-year-old movie. Anyway, but I thought he was different enough that there could have been a niche there for him. And I think if someone had grabbed the franchise and just pumped a little bit more money into it, I think we could have seen a lot more of him. He even had his own theme music, didn't he? When he was about, that bit of synth music started.
I really appreciated the music. I really did appreciate it.
I loved that synth soundtrack at the start.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
So my initial thoughts, charming little slasher that I really enjoyed enough to watch it again, and I probably would watch it again.
There was, unlike a lot of the slash films especially came 1 or 2 years later, there wasn't much gratuitous, as in, he was killing them, that was it.
Yeah,
and also there was not many boobies in it, there wasn't a lot of gratuitous stuff.
That was a shame, but... no, I don't know, the gore was quite toned down, wasn't it?
I think the effects limitations on that.
Yeah, I think that was more to the limitations, because there were shots of them like when they've just been stabbed and backing away, and I just think maybe with a bit more budget they'd have probably put a bit.
But even there's definitely some low budget slashers out there that probably overdo the gore for the sake of it.
There is.
Yeah, definitely.
There is.
They started to do that. Definitely.
Anyway, initial thoughts, great. What do we think about the direction of the film? How it was directed?
Well, let me interject then. Like I touched on earlier on, what I've really liked about it is that they, in the general slasher film, it's build up the characters 10 minutes, bring them in, kill them, it's a kill fest. This one brought Madman Mars in from the first couple of minutes, brought all your characters in at the same time, and it built the character up, both characters up at the same time right the way through. Even though the conflict wasn't going between them, there was more than one storyline going on at the time, because you had the other lads going around investigating and everything, didn't he?
In that lovely jacket. I love this jacket.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, the directing, I thought, for a slasher film, it was very tight.
Yeah, I loved the scenes where you kept seeing him in the background.
One or two of them were a bit silly.
Okay, there was maybe a bit hokey to him, but I think I could appreciate what he was trying to do.
Yeah, he was making him a menace a background menace right the way through.
I mean, it's probably giving him too many plaudits, but it did remind me in parts of when you see Michael Myers in Halloween just in the background, and he's like just coming out of a hedge.
Yeah.
And there might be a certain person in the audience who won't see him, but the person who does see him while watching it, they're scared. And that's what I think he was going for in some of those scenes. Now, because Madman Mars is not as lethal looking, let's say, he's a bit of a bumpkin, isn't he? So sometimes it came across as a bit hokey, but I think that's what he was going for, and I can appreciate that because that is really trying to direct something quite special.
I don't think it was played for comedy, though, was it?
No.
Which I really liked, that he was a bit of a bumbling oaf in a way, but they were never trying to get that reaction out of you. So I do like how they didn't, although he came across as slightly goofy, I like that they didn't really hone in on that.
And that's the lighting was fantastic.
All apart from one, quite late on in the film, particular.
With the background where you see it's daylight. Was it that one?
That as well, yeah. There was that, and then
Can we not mention that, please?
there was that, and then there was, I think it was just after midway in the film, someone went out with a torch, but the moonlighting, probably actual lighting, but the moonlight was so bright, I could see everything. So I thought...
It was that through a lot of the outside scenes.
I have read that if you get the original Laserdisc,
it's not as bright.
VHS, it's more blue light, and that's one of the things it's very famous for. It's like almost bluish light.
Yeah, maybe that is a consequence of the.
Took that away by making it a bit clearer.
Oh, maybe that's why then. I won't mark it down for that then. I'll allow that.
I might be wrong, but I think I read.
But no, for the most part, the lighting was really good.
See if I can find a few clips of an original VHS or Laserdisc.
But I think for the budget limitations,
of course,
shooting at night, the lighting was very good, and I did enjoy a lot of the stalking scenes were well done. I had to suspend my belief a bit to be scared because I don't think I was ever really scared, but I thought that some of the stalking scenes were actually quite scary, and especially the one where he's just hanging on the tree at the start.
Oh yes, that was
quite
really
disturbing for a slasher film.
Yeah.
Direction, I thought Director Joe, he did a good job with what he had, especially some of and this cuts nicely onto the acting. Now,
50-50.
50-50.
Yes.
50-50.
Yeah, I had to remind myself that it's from a different era and a different type of acting.
Have you seen many of these from the early 80s, late 70s and stuff?
I'm sure I've made you watch
You've probably, oh yeah, but they're renowned for how good they are, and they are good. I don't know, it's weird.
I've seen a lot of there's a lot more bad than good in the end, but I've seen a lot of the bad ones. This one, some of the acting, 50-50 on the acting, really.
Yeah.
It was good in parts, I thought. The killer was good.
The killer was
I did
good.
like Madman Marks.
Yeah, the killer was good. I thought Betsy, the main girl, was good.
Yes, yeah.
I thought she was good. She had a brain. The character was well written. There was parts where she grabbed a torch when she should. She grabbed a gun.
Except she wasn't holding it on the trigger. She was holding it halfway down.
Well, yeah, but she had a gun. She rang a phone. She used a phone.
Why didn't she call the police? That's the only one question.
She used a phone. But no, she did seem to have some clue.
Yeah.
She didn't just run around crazy.
I found all the characters, instead of the usual cannon fodder blandness that you get nowadays, each one of them had their own little character quirks, and you could tell there were different people in it.
I thought TP, he was a cool character. Loved his cardigan.
Oh God, of course, yeah, of course. I knew it. I knew you.
I want the belt buckle.
Oh,
yes. TP as a hero of a movie, which they were the two heroes basically up to a point. I thought it was a very bold choice to make him not as likable. He wasn't your common hero.
No.
There was lots of parts of him that were pretty horrible.
He came off as a bit of a
dick.
Yeah, in places, yeah.
And there was Handlebar, Bill.
Oh, that was great. He was great.
And we can't talk about Bill without talking about his girlfriend, Ellie.
Ellie, that was her name. I was trying to remember.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed her delayed screams. She'd open her mouth and then emit a scream about 3 seconds later.
But it was all very. If you could display it in sound format, it was also very just middle and flat and very.
I'm in the screamings. I thought her performance, especially at the scenes where she's trying to get away, weren't that bad.
Are you having it? Are you having
You
it?
must be. Yeah,
I think you're just deliberately trying to.
No, I think it was on par with, you know, Angelina Jolie's The Changeling and things like that. The power and emotion that came from it in that
Stop it,
scene was
please.
Oscar worthy.
No, she. I think
she was staggering around like almost like a stick figure.
She hit the tree at nearly half a mile.
Oh, that was amazing!
And she hurt her leg.
When she threw herself out the car was going probably around 5 miles an hour. It crashed, and about 10 seconds later she threw herself out. It's amazing.
I don't think they had any stunt doubles in this movie, to be honest.
No. So I think they literally did that for safety.
Yeah.
They just rolled it into a tree and said, just jump out. So that's what she did.
Just imagine you jumped out of a car.
Unfortunately, she jumped out quite a way after the actual collision.
Yeah. She's certainly there as one of the worst actresses in the.
Or one of the unknown greatest of their generation.
Yeah, Diamond in the Rough. Yeah, that's exactly what she
I did enjoy
was.
the gentleman who told the story at the start.
Yes.
I think he reminded me of you in about 10 years.
He reminded me. He could have been. He was in the Rock. One of the main spooks in the Rock. He's at the end that goes, like, burnt up in the smoke, didn't he? Yeah. All right. He's quite a big actor.
But no, I thought he was really good in some bits, especially when he was telling the story. He really set the scene well there, I thought.
Yes. I did enjoy that opening scene around the campfire.
Yeah.
A little bit cheesy maybe, but liked it.
That's when I wrote on my notes, it's very by the numbers, but you can forgive it. Especially when it literally started on the campfire.
He looked a bit like William Forsythe. He could have been William Forsythe's dad.
Yeah, I just found a picture of him, and yes, I can see that resemblance. Yeah.
Yeah, and there was a scene where he was talking to the counsellors and telling them not to misbehave and save him a beer at the end.
Oh.
And I thought, he's actually not a bad actor, this bloke. He's trying his best with what he has. So yeah, acting, as Michael says, 50-50.
Well, now you've brought this character up, I've got a theory.
Oh.
After watching this movie. Who is the person that instigates the story?
Maybe he was mad, and he goes away, doesn't he?
And who's the one? No, I'm not saying, but who's the one that disappears and leaves all the kids on their own while they're drinking alcohol?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just going into town to have a few beers and play cards. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, but are you saying that he knew there was?
He picks up. Is it Richie at the end, isn't he?
The original ending of the movie was Richie was supposed to get picked up by the coppers, I think, and he was going to get blamed for murdering everyone, and to bring a sequel out. I think he was Madman Miles was supposed to survive and carry on, but they cut it a little bit shorter than that.
Because he was picked up by that gentleman, wasn't he?
Your stories, they're real.
And we'll talk about the ending later because I blooming loved the ending. Absolutely loved it. So, acting, 50-50.
That's fair.
Generous, yeah. I
yeah.
think that was good. Unlike yourself, guys, I've seen a lot of these movies back in the day. The acting was good.
Well, yeah, maybe you've got a deeper pool to draw from. Obviously, I find it difficult watching a lot of modern films and then going back to watching something as old as this and trying to look at it from that point of view from that time.
Anyway, shall we delve? Peel the onion, if you will.
Oh, don't make me cry.
And talk about some of our favourite scenes.
Oh no, it's favourite scenes, so good scenes.
I'm gonna let you do it. I don't think we can.
I can't hold my water anymore.
You can't hold the audience anymore.
Yeah.
What was your favourite scene? Come on, what was it?
I'm gonna struggle to stop laughing.
If it isn't the scene I'm thinking, I'm gonna be really.
It's gonna be the same scene. Isn't it? Can we all say it at the same time? Whale through.
Hot tub.
Oh no!
Hot tub, yeah.
No,
well, hot tub.
Not hot tub.
No,
I
think mine happens before that. I mean, yes, that, but before that.
Okay. Shoot from the hip. Go with yours now.
There's a point where the old guy who leaves, he says he's going off into town, like you say, to play cards and whatever. They're all in the room, sat around, and he's talking to them, and the camera keeps going from looking at him to looking at them. Every time it comes back to him, am I the only one who noticed that he looked like he'd been digitally added into the film?
Yes.
Okay.
I watched this twice.
How did you not see it? It was so obvious to me anyway. Wow.
I'm going to have to watch that scene again. Did you bring it with you?
No, I forgot, but I'll bring it to work tomorrow.
I want to watch the documentary.
If you want to watch documentary.
It looks like they're all sat around in more or less a circle, and he's telling them, he's giving some information, telling them he's off, and because one woman's looking at him, but you can definitely see her eye line is not matching his eyes.
He's a very short bloke.
And he's got an aura around him that looks like someone has just copied and pasted him.
I'm going to have to watch it.
You're going to have to. Trust me. We'll
Can we actually talk about the...
Oh, of course,
Yeah, it's the hot tub, please.
Which is a hot tub.
What was with the spinning around in the hot tub?
Going right around the outside.
And then they're spinning at the same time as going.
I watched it with my teenage son and we were literally in pieces.
That was something to behold.
From the moment he undid that cardigan, took off that TP belt.
That TP belt is legendary. I bet you can get them online.
Definitely.
I'm sure you can.
Definitely.
And man-ass. We got man-ass.
Yeah. It's something for everyone, really, in this film.
Exactly.
There was only a glimpse of boob. It didn't have all the gratuitous stuff you get in a lot of
left something for the imagination.
Bit of blue for girls and boys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I love the song.
Yes,
the song and the spinning around. Why was it? What was that? What did that add?
I think it was that a lot of these actors hadn't been in much. I think a lot of them hadn't seen many sex scenes, and I don't think many of them had directed them. I think they just... I don't know.
But
I'm trying to explain it.
I
thought something would come to
Let's
the
be
front
honest,
of my head.
Michael. That's complete nonsense. Right?
I thought something would come to me, but
the
it didn't
director
work.
has said, go into that hot tub and flop,
Frolic. With the high? Do you
No.
Not in the character-wise, but
Is that what you do?
in real
Is
life.
that what you do?
A lot of people get drunk on set if they're doing a sex
No,
scene.
I'm saying, is that what... So if you were high, I'm not saying I've taken any drugs in my life, but is there any drug that says, let's go in a hot tub and get to the edge of the hot tub, start just going around in circles really slowly?
MDMA, pretty much,
drugs affect people differently.
But I don't think they were high.
But in a scene that's supposed to promote quite a lustful scene, it didn't do it for me.
I liked it at the end when they'd had their nookie. She said something like, "You never let me finish."
Oh
what
boy!
Was that?
Yeah.
And then she was giggling. I was like, a woman wouldn't usually giggle at that point. She'd be quite cross.
No.
And also, all the bubbles had disappeared when they finished. Did you notice that?
All the little sperm jumped in the bubbles, thinking it was ovaries and burst them.
Yeah. Maybe.
But it was an interesting scene. Yeah.
And all I was thinking was, please let this lead to a kill, and it didn't.
No, it was. I think it was to accent their relationship, but it did not do anything. But
what it did do is make the final girl, who she was, not pure, which was a massive leap for me. I was like, well, she's the final girl. She can't have nookie.
At one point, did you go, she's not the final girl then?
No. But then she didn't finish, so maybe that was.
Is that the criteria?
I'll have to look more into it. But going back to this film, going back to TP, who reminded me quite a bit of Giannone, an old Ferrari driver.
Oh yeah.
In the mid-90s.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, if you watched it, you'd know what I was talking about. Yeah. I enjoyed his stalking scene, and I enjoyed the way he was killed. Not enjoyed, that's the wrong thing to say.
No, I think you can say that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It was quite harrowing.
Of
the way he thought he got out, and then Madman just grabbed his feet, yanked him down, and then that crack on his neck.
That whole kill was very impressive.
And they did this. There's a scene right at the end where he's just hanging, and it holds on it for 10 seconds. That's brilliant.
That whole kill was a good one. I have to admit, it wasn't gory, but it was brutal.
Exactly.
And what's the word I'm looking for? The actor isn't a great actor, but if you're going to judge his career from that one scene, it was very good. The way he portrayed scraping at his throat, trying to get out.
It was the hopelessness of it, wasn't it? Because he knew Madman was still down there. He knew he was going to die. But he's like, maybe I can just... And then crack. And I think at this point I realised the director was going for straight. He wasn't going for comedy. The comedy elements in this are, I think, down to budgeting and people going around in circles in a hot
tub. Is that where they get the idea of a time machine?
Maybe.
I've only been in the hot tub once and I didn't like it.
You should.
Maybe that's
you know why you didn't like it? Because you didn't go around in circles.
All modern hot tubs have like seat bits on the side, so you can't spin around the sides.
Maybe that's why, because they don't want you to enjoy it.
Maybe that's because people enjoyed it too much.
Maybe. It's taboo now.
Right.
That's so ridiculous.
Before I let Michael talk about his favourite scenes, can we talk about the moment in the film when the guy in the blue jumper, who I can't remember his name, turned into the architect from the Matrix.
For it. Just tell you the story.
But the scene is from when he became the architect in the Matrix. They were all lying down.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're on about.
They were all lying down, weren't they, with their faces adjacent.
Yeah.
And he suddenly became this, wherefore thou and ergo is.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
What's
yeah,
going
yeah,
on?
Yeah.
Why is he the architect now?
Yeah.
And it didn't seem. I don't know why he did it. And it lasted about 5 minutes. And I thought, where's he going with this? Was he like trying to? Was this his audition for maybe a better film in the future? He thought, this is it. This is my chance. That's the.
Yeah.
Michael's just put the picture up. That's the scene. And it really didn't go anywhere. But I thought it was fantastic.
That's great. I understand what you mean.
But anyway, Michael, any more favourite scenes?
Well, like yourself, I did laugh at the hot tub bit. I'm sorry about that. I was going, what? Is this the same film? It was like, tell you what it was. Imagine if Leslie Nielsen was doing an airplane slash.
Yeah, that is exactly what that would be like.
I think he'd do that.
Yeah,
He'd spin around in the hot tub.
Yeah. Again, that kill with the with TP, I thought was good, and I liked how, right the way throughout the film, you had that one guy walking around and investigating stuff.
Yeah.
And then how he finally goes into the bottom of the house.
Oh God.
Stairs. You only see a glimpse of what he sees, but you see him just break. Now the actor wasn't great at doing it, but for me the scene did actually work okay.
I think at the time when that scene came up, I went, please show me what he's looking at. I want to see. And of course you did at the end, and that was very good how it played off that. I thought, if I don't see what he's looking at, I'll be annoyed. The part of me that needs to see things.
It's very surprising that in a slasher film like this, that they put that kind of story in. There's a bit more meat to it.
Yeah.
With that, I thought it was very good.
Ironic with meat hooks. Yes.
Yeah, brilliant.
But any other scenes that caught your eye? I mean, the finish. You must have loved that ending.
I liked it. Yeah, it was good. Obviously, the girl stayed a little bit active too long after she'd been pierced through the heart with the thing. I
just loved how when he's found on the road and you see like a bit. Yeah, when you just see the people hanging up. That is.
But don't forget, at the very beginning of the movie, when we're doing the campfire sing-along of about a different killer, every time he touches him and someone will murder, you see what happens to each of them.
I know, you saw their future, didn't you?
Yeah,
That was clever.
It was like a bit of foreboding for everyone around the campfire.
But to finish off with all those main people on meat hooks, apart from Richie who'd just been wandering around the forest trying to find things, I thought that was quite disturbing for a little slasher film like this.
And also, I've got to admit, I don't know why, I like the theme tune.
I did. I loved it.
It was so catchy, yeah.
It was so 80s, but it was so good.
Yeah, put that in the film now, it'd be too silly.
Yeah,
but it worked, and it worked with their title screen. Just a couple of trees.
Oh yes, yeah.
The red and the Madman.
The fact that the end credits lasted about 30 seconds shows the budgeting of this film, doesn't it? There wasn't a lot of people involved, and they did very well for what they had. Now I'm pretty sure you'll have a much bigger list for this. Oh, actually, one more scene before we get on to our scenes we didn't like, because Gaz will have that now.
Well, no, it's not true at all.
When the scene where he was chasing Ellie.
Yes.
Yeah, and he kicked down that door. Boom! That was brilliant. But when she goes to hide in the fridge.
Oh, that is so weird.
But I forgive that scene because I think Madman always knew she was in there. He was just waiting for her to come back out. But when he hits her with the axe and she like stumbles backwards, I was losing it. I was like, why hasn't the director said, can you just do that again? But much
because
better.
they didn't have the budget to reshoot it, to redo another take of it.
I suppose that the effects have been used.
That's it, yeah. One and gone. That's it. Yeah.
Reeled.
This is your money shot, Ellie. Oh.
Oh, she's ruined it. That's all we've got, lads. That's all we've got.
But yeah,
gotta keep going.
Got to talk about that first scene. Fantastic.
That was good. I did appreciate the scrambling as well, just getting everything out as much as she could, and then just.
The fact that Madman was literally like a metre from.
He wasn't far away.
And surely you noticed all the stuff on the ground out of the fridge.
It's not a huge leap, is it, to go?
He was playing with her.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
He was waiting there. I'll let her have a bit of fun in the fridge. We all had fun in the fridge.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Well, hold on. It's a very tiny scene, and Michael touched upon it earlier how this film has a lot of tropes, but you only look at them as tropes because you've seen so many other films. I really appreciate there's one. I can't remember what the woman's doing, but she's outside and she can't clearly see that it's him, but she sees someone just walking off past. In a normal horror film that I've seen, someone would go and investigate that. She never did. She was like, okay.
She thought she saw something.
Yeah, but she didn't go and investigate it and then get killed like would normally happen.
I'd say they did have brains.
So I really do appreciate that she was like, okay, and then just carried on what she was doing. Yeah,
also like playing tricks on me.
Yeah.
Probably some random hobo, because let's be honest, he looked like a random hobo. Right.
Which is definitely what you want
right,
in that film.
Scenes you didn't quite enjoy, or parts of the film
Only
that
parts.
you thought could have been improved.
Only parts, but they were so bad. Really. Well, the biggest one, which apparently I only saw, was the digital insertion of the old guy.
I'm going to look at that.
I can't believe no one else saw that. It stood out like a sore thumb to me. I mean, I laughed. It didn't take me out of the film.
Because you're the biggest detractor of this film. Let's be honest.
Okay. Well, okay.
So, and I know at the start you said, I tried to get myself in the 80s shoots, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Fine, good for doing that, but let's just play it straight. Why didn't you like this film?
It aged horribly.
Thank you.
Okay, aged horribly. The scene that I'm talking about where he looks like he's been added post, the hot tub scene, which is both bad and good at the same time, in a hilarious way, and just, I'm sorry to judge it based on it's a small film with a small budget, but it didn't look. None of it looked great, really. And maybe I'm being too harsh.
No, it's fine. You have to have your.
But I appreciate there is a charm to it, and I did see that charm in places.
In places, that's fine.
In places.
Any parts you didn't enjoy, Michael?
Didn't enjoy. I really enjoyed the hot tub scene, but for the wrong reasons. It was a
No,
bit
I think
hilarious.
you got to put that on the best scenes. You can't say that's a bad scene. Fantastic.
Do you know what? In the end, it all worked for me. It did. Oh yeah, one bit I didn't like. The chef. They killed him off after a minute.
Oh
I
yeah.
wanted to see a bit more of him.
Yeah, because he's like an alcoholic chef.
Oh yeah.
With the JD bottle.
Yeah. Oh, that yeah.
Hey, it's empty.
But in some ways that works. It was like bam, straight away, out of the way. So that kind of would, and that was one of the gorier kills because you saw his throat
Yes,
slashed.
I think that was the goriest.
I think blew that load on the first kill. Yeah,
That's the logic on.
That's what you'd do.
that's what she said. Anyway, okay, so I do have some detractions.
Hold on a
Interesting.
moment. Like I said, it did work for me.
Okay.
I did. Overall, I liked it. I think I can appreciate it a little bit more than Gareth because, like you, I've seen a lot of these back in the day when I was younger. When let's watch a horror film type days. Yeah, it does work. It's one of the better of the slasher movies around that time.
I think it is.
It actually is. So yeah, I think it was a good choice in the end.
See, I do have a few detractions, despite being quite a fan of this film. I think there's a part in it where 4 people go to look for Richie, and it's like one goes and they disappear. So someone else goes and they disappear. So then someone else goes and they disappear.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, this is quite simple plot here. Quite a simple plot thread.
And then there was none.
So I did enjoy how it was one night, just one night. I thought that was really good. And there was one scene, however, where he's stalking the guy in the blue jumper, and it's a good scene until the end where he does this weird little jump at him and goes ah! Or something like that. And it was building the tension, and it does this little weird little jump at him. It like jumped up and went so odd. And I was like, well, that's just taken me out of that scene completely. There's one scene I forgot about when Madman Mars holds the guy with the tash above his head.
Oh yeah.
That was really cool.
Oh yes.
I've gone to good scenes again, but do you know?
It's
Do you know
okay.
what I'm talking about, Michael? Yes.
I do. I thought we were going to get a Bane moment and.
Yeah, break his. But I think again, you heard a little crack, so maybe that's all they could afford. But yeah, I mean, you could bring up, as Gareth has already, it has aged. Films do age.
I know they do age, but some age more gracefully than others.
And maybe because I am quite a slasher fan, I can forgive it in parts. But yeah, there are parts where you say, come on, this is ridiculous. But I don't know, I can kind of forgive it a lot because of the person I am. I mean, I give everything 7, as Michael says.
That's true, you're lucky number 7.
Lucky number 7, yeah. I like how we saw children on a camp. You usually see the camp.
Because the camp was for them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Full of kids.
Because normally in the Friday films, it's just the councillors, just these sexed up teens running around. Where are the kids? Who knows? Who cares? But you actually saw the kids, you actually saw them on a bus, and the best thing, one thing that made it totally different from any other slasher, it was winter. It was just before Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Oh,
it
course,
wasn't summer camp. It was a winter camp.
Yeah, which is interesting. Why would you go camping in the winter?
I've no idea. But that was really good. Anyway, enough about that. So yeah, few detractions. Most of all, I enjoyed it. Now, Gareth, your final thoughts, summing up, if you will, on Madman.
I think if you're a fan of this genre of film, absolutely watch it because you'll probably find something that you'll appreciate. I've watched several slashers. I wouldn't say I'm a hardcore slasher fan at all. I find it difficult to watch in places just because of how old it looks now. I think I've been spoiled by modern cinema, but if you're a fan, absolutely watch it. There's some great scenes, there's a great charm to it. Just don't expect too much.
Know what you're getting into.
Yeah, know what you're getting into. Don't expect too much. Just go in, have a little fun with it, and you'll enjoy it.
Right, I do recommend this to any slasher fan. The people involved in this movie, the director, the producers and the actors, done a lot more than people think. For instance, Tony Fish, his hanging scene as PT, he used to tie bands around his neck and his belt just before the scene and hanging up to make it look as realistic as possible.
Goodness.
So that carefulness you see is actually real.
Oh God.
The girl that played Ellie, she was actually one of the casting directors who got brought in last minute to help out with it.
Oh, well, that's why she was so very good.
It's one of them movies where the guy who played the killer, Madman, he's been a fan of it himself. He's not been one of them, oh, I'm not talking about that role kind of thing. Everyone involved in this movie, with a low budget, really brought something in to make it work. And in the end it did. It's a good recommendation.
I mean, if you did you both watch my copy of the Blu-ray? Did you watch the introduction?
I was going to mention that if you can pick this up on Blu-ray, watch the introduction by the directors because that's a great little bit.
Yeah, they love their film.
They love it. They really are passionate about it, and you can see that in the way the film's made.
Yeah, they love their film.
Yeah.
But yeah, so to sum up, it wasn't a good film per se. If you were to judge it on, as you can judge every film.
Judge it like I would judge it.
As a slasher fan, I loved it. It had a very good killer. An awesome final 5 minutes. Acting in places was subpar, but I enjoyed it and I would watch again, and I indeed have watched again. I'm not going to give it a numbered score because people keep having a go at my scores, but I'm just going to say, horror fan, pick it up. Film fan, maybe look at it. But that's it really from me.
Well, I just because of what you said, I'm quite shocked because I was actually going to be less uptight about the numbering system and give it a number out of 10.
Come on, give it a number.
Oh, first number from Gareth.
But
first real one.
But
come on, give it a number.
There's a caveat.
Oh, I love caveats.
Because I hate the 1 to 10 system because no one does it properly. No one gives anything below a 5 normally because they think that's wrong.
Well, I gave Nightmare on Elm Street a 3.
So in my 1 to 10 system, 5 is bang average. This gets a 4 from me. I think it's going to make me watch some more older slasher films, which I may have to call you up on.
Yeah.
The Prowler.
Yeah, if I watch some more older slasher film, then go back and watch this, I may revise my score with a renewed appreciation. But for now, 4 out of 10.
Okay, well I'm just going to give it what I gave it before.
Please.
But I'm going to stick another number on it. An 8.
Oh, interesting. Oh, okay. You said 7 before.
Okay.
I'm going to give it my new scoring system.
Do it.
I'm glad it was recommended, and I would recommend it to someone else. I would say, if you're not into this really, borrow it off a friend or watch it on streaming.
I don't think if you're just a fan of film or just a fan of modern horror films,
I don't think that a lot of modern horror films would appreciate it.
No, I don't think you're going to get much out of this. If you're a slasher fan, you're going to love it. If you're a modern horror film and you haven't really delved into that, this isn't the film to start with.
Is there any modern slashers these? Is there any in the last couple of years?
Oh,
that
God.
It's actually full-on slasher.
If there is, they're not prolific enough for me to know about.
Slashers.
Just straight up slasher.
Yeah, it'll come to me after we finish recording.
No worries. So yeah, my final thoughts on this film. Yeah, that definitely. I went in low, like a few of the others we've done. Enjoyed it a lot more than I thought it would do, and I'm glad it was recommended, and I'll definitely recommend it too. I'd recommend for the horror fan to watch, and for a slasher fan to buy.
Awesome.
Good.
Right, it's Michael's choice next. Do you want to tell us what it is, or is it?
I've got a choice of a few.
Okay.
We've got a sci-fi, the Coherence.
Okay.
We've got a nice little horror movie called The Void, which is more of an old school.
In it.
Yeah. Or I've got a nice cheesy one.
I like cheese.
Called Blood, Rise of the Hunter, with Lucy Liu as a vampire.
Oh no.
So you've got a bit of cheese FM, you've got a bit of nice little body horror, unknown horror, and then you've got a sci-fi.
Oh God.
Well, we'll have to decide, won't we?
Yeah, we'll decide. We'll keep our listeners in suspense. Anyway, we've come to an end, I think, of episode 5 of 3 Men and a Movie. So, it's a goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me. I've enjoyed this one.
And it's a goodbye from me.